Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So I wanted to get into this Q&A video. So first of all, thank you for posting all of your questions on Discord. If you want to take part in these Q&As, definitely go follow the Discord. The link is down below. The server name is Appetite for the Dead. There's a channel there that's labeled Q&A, and so whenever I do these Q&As, I do them every single Wednesday. I'll ask for more questions and stuff, and then yeah, you guys definitely deliver every single week. This week's Q&A will focus on episodes 12, which aired last Sunday, and on episode 13. That's the episode we're going into here. So some predictions and thoughts on the trailer and all that, as well as Isle of the Dead. I want to talk about that because obviously that was the big announcement this week, right? So before we go any further, I do have to warn you that this will contain spoilers for episode 12. So I hope you guys are all aware of that. Also, make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this. But let's get into the first question here. So Q&A. Do you think Hershel will be grown up in Isle of the Dead? That's actually a really good point. You know, like, we don't know the timeline of this show. Personally, I don't see it. I don't see them jumping forward that like 10 to 15 years in the future. I think that'd be kind of crazy. There's so much time there that you just sort of like gave up on. I don't see it. I've been getting a lot of questions on Hershel. Like, you know, is Hershel going to be in the show? I don't see how you could bring him there. And I actually think, you know, for Maggie, it just makes more sense to keep him at the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is going to be very safe there. Like, is Judith and RJ going to be going with Daryl and Carol? No, definitely not. Like, I think they're all going to stay at the Commonwealth, and it's all going to make sense. You know, I think if, say, Rosita, Eugene, Ezekiel, say they all survive, right? Or Aaron or whatnot, I think they could help raise them for a while. And I think, you know, they're all going to know why Rick's alive. We have to go help and bring Rick home. And that's the thing you got to remember. Like, they all know Michonne's out there, but they're all probably wondering where the hell is Michonne? Which I also find really weird. Like, why aren't they ever talking about Michonne on the show? I feel like you should be bringing that up quite a bit. Like, where the hell is she? Why is she taking so long to come back, right? But then there's the whole Rick thing. Like, you got to remember everyone's reaction to when they find out that he's actually alive is going to be so mind-blowing, right? I'm just thinking of like Aaron's first reaction when he's like, Rick's alive? What? You know, and I think of Rosita's reaction to it, Eugene, like everybody's reaction to finding out that Rick is actually alive. You know, like, it's so depressing for them to have to live like this, right? Like, knowing that Rick is gone. And so I think about that, like, man, just finding out that he's alive is going to be really big. And they're all going to be like, okay, yeah, well, we have to bring him home. Like, we actually have to go out there and bring him home. And that's the point of the spinoffs. Like, right there is the point of the spinoffs. And I think it just makes sense that all the characters are going to be like, no, we're going to, like, we'll watch Judith, RJ, and Hershel. We'll give them proper schooling here. You know, the Commonwealth is a really great, very safe place. And then I think they're going to be able to leave them and just be more okay with that, right? I know there's a stress of that, but they have to go bring Rick and Michonne home, right? Like, they actually have to go do that. So I think that's why Hershel is going to end up staying there. It's too risky to go out there. It's a safe place at the Commonwealth. It just makes sense that way. Q&A, do you think Negan is the leader of the new group in episode 13? Would be so badass. Maybe come across Leah. I think that could be really cool. I could see him being the leader, definitely. Like, I think that is very possible. The synopsis for episode 13 actually says that Maggie and them run into a stranger, and I'm like, who's that stranger? That stranger might be Negan, and it's very possible that they're just acting like he's a stranger because of the group he's with. So maybe Negan's not necessarily the leader. You know, it's a tricky situation. I don't know how he comes back into the fold, and obviously he's going to at some point here in 13 or 14. There's no way he's just gone. You know, I remember some of the set photos from like, oh man, that was months ago, but I know there was some stuff where we saw Negan at the Commonwealth, and it wasn't anything confirmed where we saw them actually there. I just remember seeing like Jeffrey Dean Morgan there. So it's possible Jeffrey Dean Morgan was just sort of around and he actually wasn't on set there. But like, that was for later episodes like what, 17, 18. So I look at it, we're going into 13 now. It kind of makes sense. And also it just makes sense in general that Negan would be there at the Commonwealth and take part in that final story. So, you know, whatever's going to happen here, we're all slowly coming down to the Commonwealth. Like, everybody's going to be there. Q&A, when do you think we will see or hear about fast zombies in The Walking Dead? I think we're going to, I don't even know. Honestly, in terms of them appearing in The Walking Dead, I don't really have an answer for that, because it's, you know, there's already an argument to be made that it's already happening. Now we're starting to see this slow transition right now, because if you notice, the walkers are a little more aggressive lately. And, so maybe it's a slow transition that we're starting to see here on the show. I don't know, but as of now, I think we're going to be dealing with that in like the Negan and Maggie spinoff or the Daryl and Carol spinoff. People keep saying that, like, no, it's only a thing that's happening in France. Well, no, like, they showed us that, they showed us that it happened there, but you got to remember, that's the future of The Walking Dead. Like, right there is the future of The Walking Dead. That was the point of it. So eventually that is going to be happening here on, with our characters here, I guess, in America and just in New York or surrounding regions, right? So how does that get from there to over here? Well, the CRM, obviously, they likely and most likely definitely have the technology to travel across the sea. Like it's a Civic Republic. Did you see the place that they had? It was basically normal there. They're able to fuel helicopters and tanks and everything just like normally. They literally send out like so many helicopters out, and they're constantly refueling them. Like, they're 100% totally fine in terms of all of those resources. So, to think of them traveling from Europe or France to the United States, that's not too crazy or unheard of. So, Q&A, what city/region would you like to see in the Walking Dead universe? With Isle of the Dead being set in New York City, it makes me think of what other places they could go to. I personally want to see an apocalyptic version of Chicago. That would be cool. For me, I just want to see something in Canada for the most part, just because I'm from Canada. So I think it would be really cool to actually see that. Other than that, though, it doesn't bother me as to where. I just kind of want the story to make sense. If anything, I would want them to go back to Atlanta. I kind of miss them being in Atlanta. But, that's more for nostalgia reasons. So I don't really have a place that I'm like, I really want it to happen in. If anything, just Canada, just because I would like to see them deal with like snow walkers, which we have seen before. But I would like a spin-off where it was like a heavy snow environment, and dealing with the cold and stuff like that. And it's like that all the time, like snow in Virginia and all that is nothing compared to what we deal with over here in Canada. So do you think Lance could potentially betray Aaron or Pamela, since he's getting the governor vibes where in season 3 finale, the governor had finally snapped out of it to kill everybody? Yeah, that seems to be the vibe everybody's getting from Lance, and I could see it. I could actually see it. I could see him doing that if he doesn't get his way. Say he actually makes a really good push to take over the hilltop in Alexandria. He finally does it, and then he's like, okay, so I can be the leader. And Pamela's like, no, I didn't say that. This person's going to be the leader. I could see him just snapping and maybe pulling out a gun on Pamela. And then maybe Aaron's in that situation, and then Aaron's the one who's forced to kill Lance. Again, situations like that aren't going to be as big. And I think that's one of the tricky things right now. Like the Commonwealth arc had such great moments in it that it's hard, because actually, if anything, that's sort of the only one left that they can actually kind of do, right? Is the moment when Rick kills Dwight. So maybe it's possible Lance could get that. If you can make another spinoff with 2 characters from The Walking Dead, who would they be? Oh man, I don't even think I would do another spinoff on any other character, to be honest. I kind of like it as it is. I was actually kind of like, I was weird that I never thought of like just Maggie and Negan doing a spinoff, but the idea of doing a Negan spinoff, I just thought was kind of stupid. Like I thought, okay, well, it makes sense out of all the characters you would do that, but also like what's going to happen there? And would you do a Maggie one? Well, no one's going to be interested in that. You want to keep the characters together, right? But doing both of them together, I'm like, okay, there you go. That's exciting. You have an exciting environment. Okay, there you go. That works right there. And then Daryl and Carol are already getting one. So besides that, I don't really care so much. We have Tales of the Walking Dead, right? Tales of the Walking Dead's actually going to show us a lot of really unique stories. So I'm totally cool with that. Q&A, have you heard of the new Maggie and Negan spinoff, or Isle of the Dead, that's based in New York? If so, do you think Maggie will still be the president in the end of the show? Also, could the spinoff explore Maggie and Negan running into the CRM place in New York City that was mentioned in World Beyond? On that second part, yeah, it's definitely going to be the purpose of it. They are going to run into the CRM for sure. It's probably going to be at the end of the season, though. I think the first season is going to focus a lot on surviving in Manhattan, in New York and stuff. In terms of, do I think Maggie's still going to be the president at the end of the show? The thing is in the comic, it doesn't happen right away. It's not like Pamela Milton is taken down, and then all of a sudden Maggie is the leader of the Commonwealth. When we see Maggie the leader or the president of the Commonwealth, It's after the 25-year time jump, or however long it was. It was 15, 20, 25 years. It was way, way far into the future. And she may have been just newly elected. It's very possible that they used that election system, right? That Maggie was just newly elected, and maybe she's been there for a couple years. Maybe she's on a second term or something like that. But she's much older, so she's the leader right then. But so Maggie's not there yet, though. So I can see Maggie eventually becoming the leader, but it's gonna take some time, obviously, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Like, just do that then, because in the meantime, like, you can have her appear in like these spinoffs or in the movies and stuff like that, and actually doing some more action focused things, right? Q&A: do you think when Madison returns, will she ask and asks where Nick is and finds out the truth, that she will try to kill Charlie? I don't even know about that, to be honest. It depends on who Madison is when we see her. Madison could be totally different. Like, when we see Madison, it might be, she could be more of a villain. I mean, there's going to be that sweet spot there in terms of it's her characters and all that. But it depends. And honestly, it really, really depends. And this is the last question right here. Hi, this is my first question since I joined the server. Well, welcome to the server. So my question is, why would Negan go look for Rick with Maggie? Of course, one of my wishes were to see Negan in the CRM looking for Rick, but considering the storyline, are we going to see Negan find something important related to the CRM, and then he remembers the helicopter he saw back in season 8, so he starts looking for both the CRM and Rick with Maggie? Yeah, there is going to be that. There has to be some motivation there, right? Like, for him, right? Because I think for Maggie, it's going to be like, well, I'm going to go find Rick. For Negan, part of it could be, well, I'm going to go find Rick mostly for Judith and RJ, right? Because he obviously has a soft spot in his heart for those kids. And so I think he's going to be like, if I can bring their dad home, that's going to make them so happy. I can help Maggie out here. I think that's part of it. I also really do think, in terms of CRM stuff that we're going to see here in the final season, the helicopter will be a part of it. Negan and Gabriel both saw the helicopter, right? So I think when they see either images or they actually see it, they're going to be like, I saw that before. What the hell? And then I think they're going to put 2 and 2 together and be like, Jadis was actually, and then I think all of it's going to make a lot more sense that Jadis took Rick to the Civic Republic. And they're not going to know why. They're not going to know if Rick was like badly injured or what happened. And maybe it's possible Daryl's like, I found a lot of blood on the shore. I followed over here. I saw some of this, but that was it. There was no body or anything. So maybe they kind of think, well, his body must have went down the shore over there. Jadis found him, and then they left from that point. Like, I don't know. They'll have to put everything together, obviously. They don't have to put it together exactly, because Rick can just sort of fill them all in later on. They also don't even really need to know the whole story. They have him alive. But to answer your question there, yeah, I do think Negan is going to play a very important role in all of that, because he's actually seen the helicopter, right? He's actually dealt with that with Jadis, and so I think, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun there. But I'm going to leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.